All right. So I think we can start. The others will join later. So from last week, we had a title or a topic, just a quick overview while I wait for the rest. And then we had, aside the topic, we had we had some keywords, right? And then we had some, can anyone remember? Help me remember. Okay. Keywords, we had some hypothesis, and then we had some research questions, right? This is where we stopped, I think, and due to time. So up to this stage, does anyone have any question before I move on? Maybe you tried it, it didn't work, you had some challenges. You can let me know. You have a topic, you have keywords, you have hypothesis, you have some research questions, and then, yeah, I think that's where we stop. So someone tried, you have some further questions. Quickly, you can ask me and then we move on. Okay, so we did some part of literature too. Yeah, that's true. Okay, but any question on this part first? If not, I'll still move on. Okay, so I'll go back to questions because someone asked me, okay, so I don't know how to ask the question because I'm quite new to the field. So I'll do a little bit of demonstration using our favorite ChatGPT baby, right? So I'll share my screen on I asked ChatGPT to give me some sample questions, or you can look at the direction of questioning from this part if you don't know what questions to ask, right? So I just give you some sample questions to ask, and hopefully it covers um all fields. Okay, so just a moment, I pull it up. Okay, so we are still on questions, and quickly we'll use the questions and then move on to literature. Okay. So questions, yes. All right. So I share my screen again.
Sorry, someone is asking if you could please go over the hypothesis again.
Hypothesis again. Okay, no problem. I'll do the questioning and then we'll go back to hypothesis. That's no problem. Thank you, Kay. You are really helping me. It's limiting my moving in and out of the chat box. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's look at research questions. Let's say we don't even know where to start from. Okay. So the first kind of question that we can look at, according to ChatGPT, which we all should have, at least the free version, it says that the descriptive questions, right? So the purpose is to describe some particular behavior or event. So using the sample topic that we used last time about the B-fly algorithm and then our favorite topic, how to describe a Chinese man, the first one is descriptive questions. So we are trying to describe the Chinese man. So what is, how does, when, those kind of basic questions. Okay, so whatever your topic is, if you feel that a descriptive question can be a question you need to ask, then you can look at that. So this is one type of question you can look at, right? Examples are what are the main features of, so for the algorithm, we can say what are the main features of a bee fly algorithm or whatever algorithm, or what are the main characteristics of people living in or people using a particular thing that you are studying, right? So this is one type of question. You can also look at explorative questions or exploratory questions, right? It's to explore new areas, which is quite little. And like I said last time, if you face some challenge like this where the literature is little, then you need to do interdisciplinary research. So something like this would feature an exploratory question. So we want to see what are the emerging trends in machine learning, what are the emerging trends in whatever statistics, or yes, So whatever your topic is, you can look at an example like this. What are the emerging trends in, for example, you don't have any question at all. You can look at the first one, which is descriptive, the second one, which is exploratory. Okay, I'm running through this because I'll share the documents with you. Comparing, right? Is the B-fly algorithm better than the other one algorithm? What's the differences? These are kind of questions you can compare, contrast, those kind of things, right? Casual or explanatory questions. Okay, so this is the business guys. What does the impact of variable A have on variable B, right? So you can have that kind of question. Question 5, evaluative questions, predictive questions. It keeps on going. So I think there are about 100 of them. I'll share the document with you, and then you can use this as a start if you don't know where to start from. I hope this will solve the problem of asking questions. Okay, so let's go back to hypothesis. So hypothesis is just taking the question and trying to make an informed guess. In this case, you have some background about the question, and before even reading the literature or before even trying to find out what is the right answer, you already give an answer. So for example, you say that all Chinese males from the north are tall. Okay, all Chinese male from the north are tall. That's the hypothesis. The research question is, maybe are Chinese people from the north tall? Or what is the average height of a Chinese man from the northern part of China? So the question can be flipped into a hypothesis. Perhaps you do a hypothesis because you have more experience in the field, or you had a personal experience with the topic you are doing. For example, those who are doing things like maybe let's say from the construction area. So you are coming from Africa. We all know the conditions in Africa. So you are in China now, you are looking at a topic, master or PhD topic that is into construction. So you have a first-hand knowledge. So at that stage, instead of asking questions, of course, you know the answers, you know the primary answers or the most likely answers that people will give. Okay, so in every part of Africa, even in the developed part, there are still some roads that are not well constructed, or there's some places in the world we still don't have electricity. So if you are coming from that part of the world and you are doing a research related to that, you don't need to ask a question. You have hmm, today is today. You have a particular informed experience, so you can make a guess, right? I don't know if I'm talking to myself or there are people here who are getting what I'm saying. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much for the feedback. Okay, so a question or hypothesis is, you can flip it. Okay, so let me just take a random number. Anyone has a favorite number, mention between 1 to 100, and we'll look for it here. And then we'll make a research question from a topic, and then we'll make a hypothesis, and then we'll find keywords. I just want to give this particular example, and we'll wrap up on this part. 1 to 10, 1 to 100, sorry, just mention in a number, or you can type in a number. 7, oh. 100. Seven is too. Okay, let's not say that somebody I've planned this already. So let me 7 and 100. So 100 minus 7 is 93. So let me look for 93. So it doesn't seem like we've rehearsed this. Okay, 93. Behavioral economics and decision making questions. Wow. The purpose is to explore the psychological factors that influence economic choices and behavior. Okay, so for example, the topic is, what are the factors necessary for an emerging economy to become a developed economy? Something like that. What are the emerging, sorry, what did I even say? Yes, what are the factors or what are the metrics that one can use to measure the productivity of an emerging economy? Or how does an emerging economy transform from its current state to a developed state, right? So that's the research question. Now, the hypothesis would be in-based manufacturing or local-based manufacturing should be supported to enhance the productivity of an emerging economy. So this is a hypothesis. You've made a statement where you are saying that if we support the local industries in terms of manufacturing, then it's one of the indices or the metrics that can help a particular country to move from the emerging state to the developed state. Okay, let me take another example from, let's say, health. So behavioral economics and decision making. So in the giving of COVID-19 vaccine, should we focus more on the aged population or we should focus on the younger population? Let's say we just have 100 vaccines and there are 200 people, okay? Let's say 150 of them are youth and then 50 of them are older generation. So as a president or as a minister of health, what will you do, okay, to decide who should live and who should die, kind of that thing, right? So from the health, you can also use such a question to ask. So the questions that are here and more should be able to help you start. It's not always going to give you everything. It should just help you to start. And then once you have the question, if you have an experience, you can change to hypothesis. If you don't have an experience, then just keep it at the questioning stage. And that will help your work to move on to the next stage, right? I hope that answers Abigail's question. So hypothesis, questions, and we develop our keywords. Today, the last part of the work just before literature review, which I forgot last time, is looking at it from the gap perspective, the research gap perspective. Okay. Dr. K, are you here? Please help me with the chat box. Okay. So the research gap question. So let's go back to my moment. Okay, research gaps. Okay. I can't find my document. Very strange. Okay, so structure of the research proposal. Yes. So today we'll be using a lot of Word documents. So I have to maybe open all of them at the same time. Okay, so a research gap. Okay. In some cases, we would want to, first of all, ask the questions to find the research gap, right? But there are also some examples of research gap, general ones that we can just look at, and then you can use that to ask the questions. So you know the gap, so you can ask the question, or you know the question, then you can get the gap. So everything is like a cycle. So the first type is the evidence gap. Okay, so for the evidence gap, you have insufficient empirical data to support your work. Okay, so for example, there's a lot of let's say fast speed training in China, right? But when you go to the African continent, we don't have a lot of countries having that. So even if you want to do something of maybe improving the speed of a fast train, if you go to Africa, there's no empirical data for you. There's no virtual companion except the slow ones, right? Yes, so this is a pure evidence gap. There's no data for you, right? Or there's no anything that can support your work, that it can even work. So you start the work, but you are not so sure that you can finish the work. Okay, so your research is such that you are not sure that you can finish. Most research are like that, but there are some research that there's so many challenges such that you are not sure if what you started out with, you can finish it. There's a knowledge gap, okay? So there's no theory, there's no methodology already on it. There's no, there are no papers on it. Even who to ask, okay, or where to go. Is there a lab already doing that? You can't find. Okay, so there are examples here. I'll not waste time on it. There's a theoretical gap, just like what I said before. We don't have the theories to to explain what you are trying to do. There's a practical gap, the methodological gap, population gap. So the questions can come from here. So is there an evidence gap in terms of, is there enough, the question could be, is there enough data to support your hypothesis? Is there enough data to support the hypothesis? So you say that maybe this algorithm is faster than this algorithm, or this algorithm is efficient than this algorithm. Maybe you've not used it before, right? But is there some paper or is there some data already out there that you can use to support? So this is a question you can ask. So if it's a hypothesis, you can say there is not enough data on, let's say, random forest machine learning model. But if you look at, let's say, support vector regression model, there is enough data. So this hypothesis based on your experience, right? Okay, so we have 4 ways now. After our topic, we need to find keywords. We need to find the questions. We can change the questions to hypothesis. We can change the hypothesis to keywords. We can change. So it's just like a mix. And then now we also have the gap. If you know the gap, you can use it to frame a question. If you know the question, you can use it to frame the research gap. Any questions so far? If not, I'll move on straight into literature review. Any question?
No question.
Dr. K, any questions?
No.
No questions. Okay, so far
yeah,
it's clear, right? Good. I think someone also said no questions. Okay, great. I'm glad there are no questions and all our problems are solved. Okay, so let's go back to our whiteboard where there's a lot going on. Pardon the mess, but okay. So aside research questions, aside the hypothesis, the keywords, we have the research gaps. Okay, so maybe let me spend 1 or 2 minutes just to talk more about the research gaps. Okay, so our research gaps, usually the first research gap that comes to us is literature. There's not enough papers, or what I'm doing is new, nobody has done it before, that kind of thing, right? So the first type of research gap that cuts across most research, right, is literature gap. This one, I'm sure you all agree with me, right? Because even if you want to do something novel, you always have to push the literature forward. So we expect that you should have some gap somewhere. It could also be methodological gap. Okay, so there is no clear-cut answer to or there's no clear-cut method to the answer. So we know that 1 + 1 is 2, right? But in certain kinds of mathematics, 1 + 1 is still 1, right? Or if you look at gate theory, you can have 1 + 1 giving you 0. Okay, so if someone says, how can 1 + 1 be 0? There is a methodology to explain that. How can 1 + 1 be 1? There is a methodology to explain that. But let's say I come and said, okay, 1 + 1 is 0.5. Okay, so although yes, there is a particular methodology to explain this, but let's assume that 1 + 1 is equal to 0.5, which is half, and it's true, but we feel it, we believe that it can happen, but we don't have a methodology to explain this. Okay, how can 1 + 1 be 0.5? So let's say you and your friend, you have $1, and you decide to buy a burger of $2, right? Now you have only 1 burger. When you share, is it not half and half? Oh, nobody's smiling. Okay, so $1 + $1 equals $2, right? However, you bought 1 burger and now the two of you have to share 1 burger. So you all got half and half. So 1 + 1 in this case equals to 0.5. This is a clear-cut understanding. We all agree that this mathematics is correct, right? But there's no methodology to explain this. Dr. K, what is someone saying?
he just said yes, please.
Yes, please. Yes, there's, of course, you have to be convinced. Yes. So 1 + 1 can also be equal to 3, right? where in the form of, as a computer scientist, you are counting the number of how do you call it? Input that somebody is giving. So one is one character, the plus is also one character, and then the other one is also one character. So the sum of this, or the length of the expression or the input that the person gives is 3. So 1 plus 1 is 3. In this case, it is logical. True or not true? So we believe it, we experience it. However, we don't have a methodology for it. And then we can see there's a methodological gap. Okay. And then, okay, enough of 1 plus 1. But what I'm just saying is, in some parts of our research, we can even find the results of the experiment, but we cannot explain it. Even your professor does not understand. I just got off from one call like that, and we're debating why is this value greater than the other value, and it is against what everybody knows. So one, is either you are lying or you found something new. Yes, we believe we found something new, but how to explain it? We need a methodology to explain this kind of thing. So in your research, I don't know which level in which you are, but you could face things like this, and it's more common if you are in the science field. Okay, or maybe you collected the data and you realize that no, it's not. Maybe you just go back to, I'm just taking any country for example. Let's say you go to Nigeria and then you take a survey and everyone feels that, okay, Nigeria is the richest country in the world. According to the data, it backs that. Everybody believes Nigeria is the richest country in the world. So now what are you going to do? How can you publish such a paper? Because we all know it is not, right? But the evidence is showing that it is. So here it's not about evidence gap. It's about methodology or a certain theory that we can use to explain. In that case, you can come to definition of the word rich. What do you mean by rich? Maybe to a Nigerian man, when he goes on social media and he can buy data, he's rich. Okay. Or maybe if he has a 2 square meal, he's rich. Or if whatever definition of wealth he has, that is riches for him. So now what you have to do is you have to give us the rich theory, algorithm, methodology. You create your own thing just to explain the thing, because if you don't, then over how many people in Nigeria now, I don't know, in millions, the data is quite huge. You cannot throw it away. But the evidence is showing that all Nigerians believe that they are rich, right? So the only thing you can do to back the evidence is to create a methodology or to create an explanation that it is true. I don't know if you guys get me. Hello. Okay, I'll
Yes,
move
we
on.
are following. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the third type of methodology, the research gap I want to talk about is the data gap. Okay, so sometimes it's not that you don't have data. It's just that the data that is there is too much to clean or to use. We all know that when we go to the World Health Organization, there's so much data there. CCDC, thanks to COVID, we know them. But before they were there, they were doing all this kind of data collection. All the traffic lights in China, it's collecting data. But now, how can we use such data? Okay, you realize that the data is so huge, it's now become a gap. Although it's huge, now it's a gap. I don't know if you guys understand it. Because for you to be able to clean that data or for you to be able to use that data, one, maybe you need clearance. Okay, let's say I want the data from NASA. I need clearance. And that clearance becomes a clearance gap, but it's still associated with the data. If I can clear that levels of protocol, then I can get the data, right? So the data can be there, and then you don't have access to it because of several reasons. Or sometimes, yes, it's available, but it's like the business students will say, it's primary and secondary and tertiary data because you have to do some kind of analysis on each of them. Okay, so depending on the gap, maybe you have enough data, but then your research question will be, how can I clean this data? How can I clean this data? Or what do I need? Do I need secondary or I need primary data? Which of them is suitable for my variable design? Okay, so That's just a little bit about the research gaps. If you face the gap as a problem, you can phrase it into a question. And if you face the question, you can phrase it into keywords. And if you face the keyword, you can phrase it into a hypothesis, and it's like that. So it's kind of like a cycle. Okay, and I said this is the foundation of our work, not the topic, not the topic. Okay, so I want to address this issue of I'm scared somebody will steal my topic. I'm scared somebody will steal my topic. Okay. So I think maybe from all that I've said, you can know that just from one topic, we can have different keywords. We can have different hypotheses. We can have different research questions. We can have different research gaps depending on who is doing the topic. And the topics, they are all over the world. It's not you that you slept and woke up with a creative idea. The topic, as you have dreamt about it, so many people also in the world have dreamt about it. Just be assured of that. But the difference between your paper will be the foundation. We all use cement and whatever is it called? Stone quarry and all those kind of things for our buildings. Nobody has come up and say, why did you copy my cement in building my house? You used my cement to, okay, I don't even know how to put it now, but I use cement A. Why are you also using cement A to build your house? Nobody says that, right? So the topic can be anything. It can be anything. And two people, even from the same research group, can have the same topic, letter to letter, but the keywords are different. The hypothesis is different, the research question is different, and the research gaps also are different. Simply because your focus or scope can change. Okay, I want to assess the characteristics of a Chinese man. My focus are on things like beauty, height, wealth, what again? Dressing, belief system. Okay, this is one way I want to characterize a Chinese man. Then I can also take the same characteristics of a Chinese man. My focus now is things like, what else can I say about Chinese man? Population, okay? Population of a Chinese man. Everywhere you go in the world, you find a Chinese man. Things like, what again can I say about a Chinese man? Whatever you can say about Chinese man, now your focus has changed or your scope has changed, right? And that is what can create difference in the topic. So let's feel free to share our topics, okay? Don't hide them. When someone asks you, what are you doing? Feel free to share, because the person could be giving you a different focus or the person could be giving you a different scope. If you can share your topic with me and you are not scared, then it should be also the same for every other person you meet. If you meet a paper that has almost, I use the word almost written what you wanted to write, I still believe there's something else you could have added that they did not think about, right? So sharing our work is also very important, and it's the core of what we call academic collaboration, right? So you share with your friend, oh, what do you think about this? And they'll be like, oh, I know this thing in my area. Can you apply it to yours? And that's where collaboration starts. So this is just an advice. Let's all share our research. But of course, let me also give a disclaimer. Be careful how you do it so no one steals your work. Yeah, but I am not scared about that, because I believe no matter how you twist a topic, you can get different, how do you call it, outputs from there. Any question? Dr. K, is there any question so far?
No, there's
All
no
right.
question.
Okay, so we had our grouping of questions for those who remember. We had our groupings. So let's say question 1, question 3 was in group 1. And then we knew what we did from there, and that became our literature review 2.1. I'm sure we all remember this, right? And then we said question 2, question 4, question 5, maybe. It's in group 2, and that became our 2.2. And then as much as possible, you had question 6, and let's say question 7, giving you.
Please hold on. Someone said he doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand.
There's no specification.
Oh, please help us understand you also. We also don't understand. Can you come again with your question? Which part you don't understand? Is there any feedback?
And not yet.
What happened? I do not understand. Oh, is this person here with us or he just strayed into the call? I think maybe, or maybe his network is misbehaving. Oh, work ethic. What about work ethic? Dr. K, you are not helping us.
The work ethic was under the classification of the Chinese man.
Okay, yes, the work ethic. Yes, a lot of Chinese people are lazy, please. Let's not be fooled. But yes, there are hardworking people also. Acting like you are working is not hard work. So please, let's not go there. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, yeah, work ethics depend on what you want to do. Work ethics versus productivity is not work ethics versus ethics. Okay, so somebody is working hard, but the person is cheating. It's also work ethics. So the work ethics versus the ethical kind of thing. So, or work ethics versus productivity. The person is actually productive, or they're actually framing or forming like they are productive. So I think Africans are very, very hardworking, no matter what anyone thinks. That's my hypothesis. So I want to see your research too. To give me something against that, right? So Dede has brought her work at her hypothesis, right? I also say that it's something else. So I can't classify a Chinese man with his work ethics because most of the things they do now have been put into technology. So it's not really hard work anymore. So when I say African man is hard work, I know what I mean. Hard. Yes, no technology. You go everything by the manual, right? Okay, I'm just pausing for a few seconds. Any questions so far? We are going straight into literature now. Okay. No questions? All right. So hopefully today my Web of Science should work. And I have a gift for everybody on the call. Who wants to see the gift? I have a special, very important thing for everyone here. If you like gifts, please show the the like button, subscribe. Okay, Dr. Paul, please go ahead. Once I set up my
No. I'm just hearing gifts, and I had to claim it before any other thing else.
Yes, sure. So the gift is for everyone here on the call. Yeah.
Great.
So we all remember typeset.io, right? If you have joined one or more of our meetings, you've heard me talking about that guy. Today I'll give you a better one. Come again.
You showed us the last.
Yes, good. Today I want to give you typeset.io Pro Max. And it's free.
That's cool, man.
It's free. So let's enjoy it, okay? So the sad part is you have to be affiliated to a school. If you are not affiliated, then you cannot enjoy it fully, but I'm sure you can still enjoy it better than typeset.io, which gives you about 10 searches a day. And then my Web of Science decides to go again. Wow. It was
You the
working.
legend, Bruce.
Come again.
You the legend.
Oh, Meshe. Okay, so I share my screen. I'm just here to help. All right, so kindly confirm if you see my screen. So Web of Science, if you are used to Web of Science, just go to webofknowledge.com. And all of a sudden, it's just not working again. Why? Okay, remember this preference. Just move ahead. Okay, so Web of Science or Web of Knowledge has a, okay. It has what we call the research assistant. So the research assistant does everything that typeset.io does and even more, right? Okay, so it's working now. Wow, good. Can you see my Web of Science page? Can you confirm if you see my Web of Science page?
Sure, we can. We can
All
see.
right, please, what do you see on the page?
So we see type. Is it?
Okay, yeah.
Like
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
1,366.
Okay, so let's see. We have a topic, right? But let's use keywords now. So let's assume that our topic is Chinese man. Okay, I just don't want to be so specific here. So, or Chinese man is too broad. Let's use the B. Dr. K, what was the topic? B fly what? Algorithm. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, algorithm. Okay, so you can also be doing your topic behind the scenes, right? Okay, so this is the topic. You can use advanced search, but that's not what we are doing here now. We just have one keyword, right? And the keyword gives us only 2 papers. Okay, so no problem. Bees fly algorithm is what we have. But if you look at the top of my screen, you see the research assistant, right? Research assistant. And you can see on the right-hand side, I've not signed in. So anything I'm doing here, anybody can also do it. Okay, I've not signed in yet, so I'm not using my university access. So you just need a mail, a Gmail or whatever mail, you can access this. Okay, so let's go to research assistant. We have only 2. Okay, so start a new chat by asking a question. So what is our question? Someone can just pop up a question and then I'll type it. Remember, let's share our research. Let's not hide our research. Just one question that, because I'm sure from last week you have done your questions. So just give us any one of your questions that you got. And let's put it here for live demonstration. Time is also flying, so let's try.
Yeah, there's a question in the chat.
Okay,
Oh,
come again.
should I read it out?
Yes, please.
What methods are used to enhance energy efficiency?
Are used to enhance energy efficiency. Yes, that's all.
No. In wireless rechargeable sensor networks.
In wireless.
Is WRSN.
Okay.
No, I mean, you can type it in full, but I was just giving you the short
WSN.
form.
Okay, let's try and see if this guy is intelligent. This chat guy. Let's see. Is it the full question?
No.
There's more.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, continue.
It's actually WRSN.
WRSN. Okay.
And then through mobile charging.
Through mobile charging.
Yeah.
Through mobile charging. Okay, one advice I'll give you, although this thing is an AI, please, let's also try and, if possible, break down your question if you want like refined outputs. Okay, so let's see what it will give us. So you don't have typeset.io or your typeset.io has finished for today. You come here. Okay, so it gives you similar like, or similar to, which one is the English? Is it similar to or similar like? Anyway, to the typeset.io, it gives you an overview, it gives you mobile charging techniques, energy replenishment strategies, optimization algorithm, it gives you a conclusion, and it says that I have used the document information and abstracts from 8 of these answers. You can view more if you want. So then, where are the 8? You just drop down, and these are the 8. 2022, 2022, 2019, 2022. It's quite recent. Gives you the citation as well. 2021, 2022, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, this is the part I like. Okay. This is just like typeset.io. Let's go typeset Pro Max. So you can click the middle here. The middle. Can you all see the middle? See related and connected concepts. Can we all see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so just before we go to the middle, you can see it also gives you other questions just in case you don't know what questions to ask. It gives you suggestions of other questions. But let's go to the middle, and why I'm so happy about the middle. It gives you a word map or a keyword map. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 keywords that you can use for your further literature review. Is this not better than typeset?
Definitely, yeah. I can
Definitely.
see.
Okay, so please send me the hongbao in my DMs for this gift. This gift comes with a price. But anyway, if you don't want it this way, you can change the display setting. Of course, you can download it. It's downloadable. You can even put this in your thesis, and it's beautiful how it can. Or you can just go to the data table, and then it tells you this. What does this tell you? Anyone who can tell me this, it means you have been following our class. What does this tell you? From the keywords, what does it tell you? What can you deduce from the keywords that have come up from here? What can you see? What can you
The
see?
number of papers or works done in that area.
Yes, this one is it's easy to see. This is level 1C. I want a level 2. Go deeper, go deeper. What can you get from here?
Wireless sensor network has been exploited the most.
And what does that mean? According to our terminologies in this class.
It means maybe solid state is the most novel.
Solid state is the most novel because it's 2000, right? Good. So our novelty questions can
couldn't
come
use-
from here. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you.
No, I couldn't see the letter.
Yeah, there's
so
more,
I
but
was
yeah,
meaning
according
more-
to what I saw,
more-
what I gave you, yes, that's true. So it means solid state,
Meaning
right?
the novelty goes down from goes down, if that makes sense.
Good.
The
So
lower you go, the higher the novelty.
yes, the lower you go, the higher the novelty. So here, actually, neighbor discovery is where the PhD guys should be hovering around. Network layer, PhD. Multi-hop routing, PhD. Device to device, PhD. Multi-part routing, there you see the master student coming in. Femtocell, master student.
Right.
Yes, go ahead.
With this, I have a little background here. So when you talk about wireless sensor network, it's a broader background, it's a broader something. For instance, let's say you're talking about a universe. That's a broader. So every work which should be done will fall under the universe. I don't know if you get it.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So for what is being shown over here is just these are keywords which they've used.
Yes.
All these keywords are under networks,
Good.
right?
Good.
They're all under networks. When you talk about wireless sensor network, everything over here falls under it. So you're not going to get if you go to perfect, you're going to get a lot of document from it. Can you scroll down a bit for me?
Yeah.
So looking at even multi-hop, so when you talk about multi-hop routing, device to device actually uses a routing method, and some of them use multi-hop routing. Multi-path routing is also a similar thing where it's being used under multi-hop routing is under multi-path routing. The femtocell, I don't know what it is, and the solid state drive, I know SSD, but I don't know what they are doing in reference to this. And the vehicular communication system also uses a form of multi-hop. So what I can see over here is the lower it goes, it gets very specific.
Good.
But yeah, the higher it goes, it's more generic.
Yes, that's true. And this is from an expert talking in the field. But we don't know anything about this field. We don't know anything.
Okay.
Assume. So yeah, we don't know anything. So we just go with the numbers because we said that when we ask a question, the feedback of the literature is what we use to decide whether it's novel or it's our theoretical foundation. Yes, WSN or WRSN should have more because that is our foundation. If our foundation is not strong, we are in trouble, right? So we are actually building a pyramid. So yes, we can ask questions about wireless sensor network, and it may not make sense to ask that at this point of your research because a lot of work has been done about it, right? Even though it's the general form, it still does not really need you to now start what is a wireless sensor network. If you ask this question, it means you get over 100,000 papers to read, right? But what I'm just saying is, because you are now starting the research, we are not experts like you. The probable place we can now start is go to neighbor discovery and go and see what is new. Maybe it's new, and that's what our teacher may be even interested in doing the research with us, right? You see, or network layer. But what I'm just hyping here is that research assistant goes a little more further than typeset.io. That's what I'm saying. And it's free. Okay, so this is the marketing I'm doing over here. So please don't skip my market.
No, it actually makes sense because
Don't for my
from
market, please.
a question, I'm sorry, from a particular question, it's been able to deduce and come down to
Yes,
the lowest form. I mean, it's impressive.
Good.
Because if
It's
you do
impressive
random
because
search, you
it's
get
from
it.
Web of Science. Yes, it
Oh,
has
right.
almost the largest database for what most of us do. So they know what they are saying. So I trust Web of Science. Okay. So they know what they are saying. And we can see who can tell me the difference between the papers that are popping up here and typeset.io. What key difference do you see? Anyone? I'm not saying typeset.io is bad. I'm just saying in case you cannot pay for it, right? But then someone should answer my question. What do you see that is so different from here compared to typeset.io?
The limitation of the paper?
The what? Come again.
Because it only shows 10 papers.
In typeset.io, it's 5 and 10, but here it's 8. Okay, limitation on the paper, maybe yes. But do you see anything specific that's so different from typeset.io? The years, that's what I'm looking for. Typeset.io kind of gives you the latest one, 2024, 2024, 2024. So it's like the work never existed before 2024. But here you can see some form of diversity, right? 2022, 2022. I don't even see 2024 here. The latest is 2023. Okay, so view additional documents. You can play around, please. Play around with the types, the Web of Science. You can create code citation maps just from one paper. You can analyze the documents references. So the references inside the literature, you can analyze it. How has the document been mentioned? You can go further. Okay, so just in case you don't have money, please come here. And your issues about topic, about research questions, about hypothesis, about how to get the paper, about how to get the research gap and all these things, I hope I'll be able to solve them today. Giving you typeset.io, giving you Web of Science, you should be able to do the work up to this stage. I don't know how to ask questions. I'll give you the Word document. I don't know how to form the hypothesis. Just change the research questions into hypothesis. I don't know what keywords to find. At least just find one question and come here. You find a lot of keywords. Okay, if you say I don't know what topic, then that one, please go and see your supervisor, because whatever topic you choose must be endorsed by the supervisor. But once you do that, the rest of the stages is clear. If it's not clear, please let us know, because I'm moving straight into referencing and I'll show you the various reference managers. I'm closing the chapter on introduction and a little bit of literature review. Please, 2 questions and I move on. 2 questions. Let's race against time so that we have a lot of time to ask, spend more practical time with the reference managers. Questions, please don't be shy. Our Dr. K is here to read all your questions for us. Not novel, not very novel, citations. Oh, it's like I'm going. Okay. Questions, 2 questions, and I move on. 2 questions, please. 2 questions. 2 questions. Everything is clear. Are we sure? Okay, 1 question. I have just time for 1 question. One question. So far, is there anything you cannot do concerning topic, research question, hypothesis, research gaps, keywords? $20. Anyone have a question? Anyone have a question? No questions. Okay, so this is our suggested research proposal template, and I hope everyone can see that on the
Sorry,
screen.
Fred. Simon says he wants to, can you show him how to get that map?
I should go back to the map. Okay, so let me
How
see.
do you get them?
Okay, the map was in the middle. If you want, remember the middle of the garden, remember? That's how we get the map. So I go back. Okay, so once you ask the question, there's a C-related map and connected concepts, right? Topic map, you see it there. Here in the middle. Okay, documents over time for wireless sensor network. So let's look over time, what has happened. So over time, this is what is happening. So Dr. K, even if we are not experts like you, this is what we can decide. We realized that it started around 2000. So if you want to do a, how do you call it? A historical perspective or a systematic review, you can see it grew all the way to 2009. And then for some reason it dropped and then it started picking up again, right? What happened? Okay, so there was a shift in the research. So this guy over here, whatever picked it up, it may be changed. Okay, people stopped using it. And then now in 2010, there was a new theory that came out. And that's also phased out, right? Hey, so there has been 2 generations of, and then now it's also dying down now. So if you're a researcher, please be aware that in 2025, your work is dead. Your work is dead. Don't use it as your PhD topic. Don't use it as your PhD topic because another one is coming. So be part of the one that is new. Okay. So this can quickly give you something like that. And I hope I have answered that particular question. Unless there's another question. Question?
That's about
Okay. All right. So we move on to the format and I'll quickly run through it and then we'll go to literature. Review reference managers. Okay, so I share my screen again. Structure of a proposal, I'll just run through it because I'll share. So if you don't know how to write a proposal, start with your title or your topic, which we have already all got by now. Your abstract, how to write abstract, we've done it in the previous how do you call it? The Thai approach. If you have the video, you can watch it. If you don't have, you can ask me, I'll share it with you. How to write an abstract, different ways of writing an abstract. It's there. I've also added a format for it. Keywords, we know how to get it now. The format, introduction. What should be in your introduction? At least 1 table and 3 figures. It doesn't really work for papers, but for thesis and things like that, at least 1 table and 3 figures. Okay. What should be in that table? You can summarize some stuff in the table. You can put some statistics in the table. You can put annotated literature review, the short one, not like an extended one, but it's still under introduction because you kind of give the background to the work, right? So what's the background and motivation of your work? Use statistics, use some trends, use some knowledge you have in the area as hype for the problem. Hype the problem as much as possible. Let anyone reading the problem believe that this is the only problem in the world that must be solved at that moment. If you don't convince the person within the first 2 paragraphs that this is the most urgent problem, then the person can drop your work and may not give you that grant for your proposal or not give you a good score. Okay, so background, hype the problem. Give us a background in the African setting, in the what setting, give us a setting, like a story. Okay. How do you even call that thing? I've forgotten. In literature, there's a name for it. Then you give us the problem. Okay, state the problem as clearly as possible. But make sure that you have answers, some answers to the problems you are trying to expose. Okay. So don't be like a certain vice president that I know that could not arrest the dollar. Okay, although he exposed that he could arrest the dollar. I didn't mention a name. Please, you cannot catch me. So your problem must have a theoretical foundation. Remember, nothing is new. Nothing is new. Okay, the problem you are trying to solve has been solved or attempted to be solved. So nothing is new, please. So every problem you find, oh, know that there's a theoretical foundation somewhere. You must find it in the literature, okay? What's the research basis and significance? Why do we need to do this particular research? Of course, it's to answer the problem, but tell us how the problem was selected and why there is a need to solve it. So just follow this template and you are good to go. The current research status or the existing work. So here you do some form of literature, but what you are doing here is you are trying to give us the theoretical framework or the evidence that some people are even interested in this work. Okay, don't be like the dying wireless network field. Okay, so give us some evidence that people are interested. So if this guy is interested and that guy is interested and that guy is interested, then I'm also interested and it must work. You can do it on a local level if you are from a particular setting where the problem is on a local level, and on an international level if it works also. What are the aims and objectives, or what is your goal in doing this particular work? You give us a general objective, okay, and then you give some specific. Break down your general objective into 3 or 5 specific objectives. And then you state your research questions, which we have done that, hypothesis, and make some assumptions if possible. Because maybe you are using a nonlinear network and you have to linearize the model to make it simple, right? Or you are doing some form of I've forgotten the name for that thing. But then you make some assumptions so that your work can be simplified. Else you cannot do the work, right? Give us the research content. That's the focus and the scope. And all these terminologies that I've used there, I have also definitions for them. I will send them to you after the class. What's your research plan? Okay, how are you going to move from point A to B? Try and tell us. If you can draw a beautiful map, as basic as from PowerPoint, you can use this to draw your research plan. If you have other beautiful software making maps, then you can use that. Tell us a timeline, okay? So if the project that you are doing, it will take 4 years, tell us 4 years and break it down how you would use the 4 years. What's the specific plan and what's the plan and specific focus in trying to solve the problem? Will it be interdisciplinary or is within a certain area only? If possible, give us a flow chart, right? As much as possible. And plan for emergency. Plan for emergency is very important. If you are doing a 4-year PhD, please, there's extension. Plan for that, okay? And even if you are doing extension, make sure that you can finish within the extension period. And if it's a project that you are doing for the government or it's funded, always put a contingency plan just in case. Else they'll come back for their money. Research limitations. What is limiting you? Usually it's the gaps, right? And you can list them. What are the initial challenges from current trends? This is just from the literature you read, you see that there are some current trends. Okay, so there are 2 types of limitations I have to know here. Someone will be like, but we've not done the work, so how do we know the challenges? So this particular challenge is not from you. It's from the literature. Okay, so people have tried to attempt it. What have been their challenges? This is the one you mentioned. There's another one you mentioned challenges after you do the work. This one is different. Okay, research gap and then the initial challenges. What are your expected research results? Okay, and novelty. What are you contributing to scientific literature and scientific issue? What scientific issue are you solving? And then the layout of the proposal, of course, if it's a thesis, you give chapter 1 says, chapter 2 says, chapter 3 says, and then you move on. And summarize the whole introduction, and you are done. Any question? Today's like I'm rapping because we are racing against time. Any question or introduction? The format is just here. Just follow the format, okay? And I'm sure it's very clear. If there's any question, let's ask in 1 minute and then move on.
Yeah, Fred, Abigail was asking that you share the video for the abstract writing.
I share it again. Okay, I'll share it again in the group. No problem. Any other question? Concerning introduction, this is the whole introduction, okay? Under introduction, you have background, problem statement. I've listed it. So introduction is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.2.1, 1. It's everything is here, and I've given the format even 13 points. What do I mean by 13 points? I mean the font size. Okay, if you see my word added, yeah, point, and then the font style is here, and then italicized, everything is here, just follow, okay? And if you see here, normal, no spacing, heading 1, heading 2, these are things that we should also know how to use. Okay, it makes our proposal very beautiful. Okay, any question?
Right.
Yes, go ahead.
Omar is asking for the link of Web of Science.
It's webofscience.com or webofknowledge.com. webofscience.com or webofknowledge.com, or just go to any browser and type Web of Science. It will give you a link. You register, use your email if you have access or you are part of a university. If not, just use your normal Gmail, Yahoo Mail, all that. Okay, research gaps, you can read this later. I've also talked about this. Then now, literature review. Can I safely move into literature review now? Are we safe to move into literature review? Okay. Silence means consent. Okay, so let's go back to Web of Science. For example, we have downloaded certain literature, right? Let's just assume we've downloaded, or you've got the literature from anywhere. And what I advise always is that as much as possible, put your papers into folders, okay? It's very, very important because you may forget where what paper is. Okay, so according to the topic, if it's a group 1 paper, put it there. If it's a group 2 paper, put it in that group 2 topic folder, sorry. Once we do that, then we can choose any reference manager. In this case, I'll start with Zotero. Zotero was pushed on me by another doctor, but anyway, I now understand why it was pushed on me. So if you can download Zotero, you see something like this. Okay, so let me go to those of us that have Zotero, you can launch your Zotero and we do this together. I want to show you some secrets about Zotero. Okay, so Zotero looks like a Z. I think there was a cartoon. Is this Zorro? Dr. K, is this Zorro? When we were young, there was some Zorro guy. Forgotten.
Legend of Zoro.
Yes, yes. This one is Zotero. Okay, so if you have Zotero, just open it. If you don't have Zotero, please just go to your browser and find Zotero. I'm sure we are all very, very knowledgeable. We can download Zotero, whether on a MacBook or a Windows platform. Okay, and it's free. Once you launch it, so just open Zotero. Yeah, once it's open, you see, in this case, mine is populated. Okay, so you will not see what you are seeing now here. But the first thing, let's go to file, right? Just like we all taught how to use Microsoft. So let's see, file. When you go to file, you can see add new item, okay? So in this case, can you all see my screen? Zotero screen.
Sure, we can.
Okay, so new item, you want to add a book. The reference you are coming to add is a book, okay? It's a book section, it's a document, it's a journal, it's a blah, blah, blah. Just choose which of them, a data set, okay, and all that. But mostly to be a journal article, right, or a book. So you can click that one. Let's click journal article. Okay, so once you click journal article, if you can see on my right-hand side, we have the journal article. What's the title? This one you are doing manually, okay? You are entering manually. So let's say Chinese man. What's the author? The author is Cho. What's the surname is Wen. Publication, what are they looking for? Is it the year? Maybe it's the year. Let's say 2022. Volume 2, issue 5. Pages from 23 to 45. Okay, date. So the volume publication was what? Let me see what the publication is. I don't know what the publication is here. Date 2022. Series. I don't know. First series. Series title. Of course, where applicable, please just continue. Okay, so this is, you are inputting it manually, which sometimes you may need to do it depending on the type of journal, or maybe where you downloaded it from does not have all the, how do you call it? The data of the paper. Okay, so just open your Word document, a new one, and then you can install Zotero. You've installed Zotero already, so hopefully it should be under your, here. How do I hide this thing? Okay, so you see references, mailings, review, and then view. View, and then there's Zotero. So just click on Zotero. And then you click on add or edit citation. So there are different ways of citing it in your paper. So, or maybe your school uses APA or uses, in my case, we use FOIL because I'm from, you can use Elsevier, you can use different ways. So let's look for APA, American Physiological or Psychological, this one, yes. So if you write a paper, usually you can do other things, but let's just keep it like this. APA style of referencing, okay. So this is my citation, Chinese man, right? It comes so beautiful. So this is it, Chinese man, and then I click here, and then I'm done. So what do I want to write that I'm citing a Chinese man? So there are various kinds of Chinese men. The Schweiger, the handsome ones, the stingy ones, and the ladies, can you help me? Which type? And the friendly ones. Oh no, the shy ones, because most Chinese are shy. Okay, so this is your in-text citation for this particular statement, assuming this statement is true. Okay, and then you were able to in-text that. I'm sure this one we can all do it. Once you are done, let's say you've done so many work, you just come to references or your list of references, and then you go to add or edit bibliography. Okay, the first one was add citation. The second one is to add the bibliography. That's the list of your references. So you add, and then you see that the first one we did was Cho W 2022 Chinese man. Wow, I think I should write a paper like this. Okay, yes. So that is our references. Yes, a question?
No. Correction. Paul is saying that publication is the name of the journal.
Oh, thank you very much. You see, that's why we need doctors on the call. Yes, so publication is the name of the journal. You put it there. Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. Yes, so moving on, you have this, right? This is manual addition of the paper. So let me put it there as Doctor has said. Who am I? Doctor has spoken. So the journal publication is, where should it be? Human Studies and Economics Journal, something like that. That's the name of my journal. Okay, so this is manually you are doing it and it will be there. But what I advise is whatever project you are doing, whatever thesis you are writing, as much as possible, put the papers into folders. Okay, so if you come to my library, the first thing, if you go to my library, you see a lot of references, but the right thing to do is to create a new library, okay, under my library. So the first thing I'll do is introduction. Okay, introduction. This is my library, and I create a collection. So now every paper under introduction, I'll put it over here. Okay, and I'll do another one for literature review, then I'll do another one for methodology, and I'll do another one for conclusion, if there need be. Or you can also create in terms of the topic, right? Not under introduction. But even here, you can still do this. Under introduction, you can say 1.1. But there's no need, okay? Or you can just give it a topical name like biomarkers. I don't know why this word I've been using it very recently. Biomarkers. Okay, so under introduction, we know there's biomarkers. We can also add what? Friendship styles. This is our 2.2 kind of friendship styles. Okay, and then you create the collection, blah, blah, blah. And then you can add references from, you've downloaded them into your folders, and then now you want to add them specifically to biomarker or introduction. So you come here, manually you can do that, or you can choose this one, add file, right? So where is my file? My file is somewhere. Let me just say general literature. I've downloaded it. This, for example, this is, I can click as many as I want and open, right? Once I open, it will come here automatically. So you can add manually, you can add, is it artificially? Yeah. Yeah, so it will just upload the papers and then give you everything, and then it says that it's done. Okay, now let's say that you forgot, or it's still doing, it's okay, retrieving the data. Let's say you downloaded a paper and you forgot where something is, right? Let's say wireless sensor network. You've forgotten which particular paper that particular word is in. It's not in the topic, exactly in the topic. It's somewhere in the paper, but you want to find it. So you can find that particular paper by doing something. We'll do it very late, once this is done. But once this is also going, let me also look at this. You can add attachment, which is what I've just done. Generally, wherever you want to do it, you can add a link to the file. You can create a new library. You can show file, you can export PDF, you can import PDF. Okay, so import, here you can import, I'll teach you this one. So if you are in Web of Science, you came to Web of Science and you did a search, right? Let me look for another topic that may be, let's say healthcare sector, search. Okay, 30,000, wow. Okay, 30,000, but I want to download, let's say, a few of them like exports. Okay, so if you come back to Zotero, it says that BibTeX RIS, Zotero RDF. So this is the format in which you can save from Web of Science, right? So let's go to Web of Science. Let's look for RIS. Okay, RIS is here, good. So we can save our papers, the information of the papers, okay, in this format. So let's save it. Now it's asking you, do you want all of them or you just want a few? Okay, I just want 1 to 20. It's okay. And then I can do this and export in that particular RIS format because I'm using Zotero. And then I export it. Okay, allow for the wow. Okay, so hopefully it has downloaded. You can see it here in my downloads, save records, right? 3. So now save records is under my download. It's not anything. Let me open the download so you see that it's truly there. Okay, so let's go back. You see save records 3 is the same. I think I downloaded more than once. And the time is 8:19. I'm not faking anything here. It's 8:19. Okay, so I want to import these particular references from Web of Science. So I go back here, next, click next, and then you look for where you save it. Downloads, my downloads, it's here. Okay, and I see my save records, 8:19, and I click it, open. Okay, it says copy files to Zotero storage folder, or you want to link the files whilst it's still in the original location. I want to copy, so next. And then it's done, finish. Okay, let's go to Zotero and find it. So save records is here. You can see save records 1, and it shows you all the 20. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it was 20. There's no faking here. So you can now use this. This is, you've not read, right? You've not read it, but you believe that this particular papers are of importance to you, right? So when you go back to your Word document, which has your Zotero. Let's go to add citation. Let me just click the first one. I want another one, maybe. What is the name of the one I want? Let's see. Maybe System for Internet of Things. Okay, so system, can I click system? System for Internet of Things, why? System. Okay. Can someone see and I'm not seeing? Okay, yeah, you look for it and then you use it. Okay. Yeah, so you are done, you see it in your Word document, and then you use it where you're supposed to use, and automatically it populates it for you over here. Any questions so far about Zotero? Using the file only. Questions? Dr. K, any questions for me? Hello. Am I still here or my internet has gone off?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, so if no questions, edit, you can copy citations. And this is what I wanted to say, advanced search. Okay, so under your library under your library, you can go to match all. You want to look for that particular word, right? Word. It's not in the title. You can look for it in the title. You can look for it in any field meaning here, right? On the right-hand side. Something like maybe it's in the field. Attachment content. So yes, it could be the PDF itself, child note, collection, blah, 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 blah. More. There's also more. Citation key. So I want to choose attachment content. Okay, I want to find it in the paper. It contains and does not contain. So you can do some kind of which of my papers contain machine learning, which of them does not contain machine learning. In this case, let me see if healthcare center we can find it. Healthcare, maybe healthcare. Show sub collection, you can click all if you want, and then search. Okay, so among these papers, we should find something like healthcare. Oh, no. Okay, let's try again. And maybe my example is not correct. Search sub collections. Okay. No, don't disgrace me. It's terrible. It's not file type, it's file content. Or any field. Let's see. Okay. Please find for me. Search. Or I'm searching in the wrong place. Maybe. Okay, let's do this. Advanced search again, which is under edit or find. Okay, but I know it works. I just don't know why now. Okay. And who is sending? Okay, how do I mute? All right, sorry about that. Yes, so you can find, okay, clear. Okay, let me see if I can find kinetics. There's so many pop-up. So why is, oh, I think I know why, because I didn't put this one under, yeah. Okay, so once I look for it, I can find the particular papers that have the word kinetics. And if it's in the document also, it will also tell you where exactly. I wanted to show an example. Oh, it's not working today. Oh, sorry. Attachment content, and then search. I don't use Zotero. So. Yes. So you see that inside the paper, it gives you particular sentence that has that, or if not, it will also tell you. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to show under edit. Then we go to view. View just gives you the layout, density, columns, what you want to attach to the column, sort by, and then tools. You can install the browser connector. What does it do? It just helps you when you see a paper, you can have the option to download it into your Zotero directly. And then I think that's all for Zotero that I want to say. You can keep your work in Zotero and you can reference, you can manage your references using Zotero. Any question? Any question?
Yeah. Can I, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to find out if it's possible to merge two different referencing managers in one paper. Does it work that way? I've never tried it, but I just want to find out. There are instances maybe you may start your work with Zotero, and at a point in time you may have to review and you have access to Mendeley. Does it have any sync between these two?
Yes, there is. Between Zotero and Mendeley, they are a perfect match. But EndNote, EndNote does not like Mendeley. So you can use and Zotero, EndNote, and EndNote by itself. You can use Zotero and Mendeley, but Zotero and EndNote, I don't know what kind of conflict they have. They just don't want to.
No, okay.
Just don't want to be with each other. Okay, so I want to share my screen again, and then I'll show you how you can do that, but not entirely the whole process. So once you are done, you can export, go to file. Okay, you can go to file, go to export library. Once you have done everything, you can export library in a format that can be attached to the other one. So if BibTeX, I'm sure BibTeX can be opened by all, right? So you can export this in BibTeX, then now open it in Mendeley or open it in EndNote, and then you can just move on from there. I don't know if that makes sense. You export Zotero files in one particular format, BibTeX or CSV or a format that the other one can open, and then now you continue from there.
Okay. So it means that you don't do. So it means that you need to convert the document from one reference manager to the other.
Yes.
So in this case, you need to convert the materials from Mendeley to Zotero to continue using Zotero.
Yes, just to avoid conflict. Okay, what you just said, let's try it. What you said, let's just try it. I haven't actually tried it before, but I think it should work. So now I've used Zotero. Now I want to use Mendeley, right? It will work, but you may not be able to, how do you put it? In your reference list, there may be a problem because one is on a whole dimension, another. But the best way is to save one format and then move it to the other. So this is Mendeley site. Let's use Mendeley site at the same time.
Okay. All right.
It should work.
Thank you so much.
It should work, but safer one, especially when you have EndNote conflicting with stuff, you can just save it quietly in an EndNote format and then go and continue from EndNote. Because EndNote just likes to conflict with Mendeley.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Let me just see all references. I've done Zotero. I'm trying to add Mendeley. Okay, so let me just see this one. Insert citation. My machine is running slow. Okay, let's insert citation. Let's see if it will work. Yeah, it works. Now let's see if I add my references from just hope it doesn't crash. Insert bibliography. Continue. Yeah, so it works. It works.
Okay.
But if there's some numbering and something, I'm sure it will mess up the whole thing. Yeah. But it works. It should work. Yeah. And it's working. Yeah. But better to save in one format to the other format.
In one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other question? If not, I'm moving to Mendeley. Any other question? Questions. No questions. Oh, no questions.
Would you, if I may, would you advise that we use the manual inputs with Zotero? I'm only asking this because there are instances where you pick an article and you can't find some of the details. For instance, you can't find where they have the publication and maybe year and then order. In that case, what do you do?
Okay, so let me demonstrate that. Yes, it always happens because, for example, maybe when you downloaded a paper, you got it for free, right? So free comes with a cost. They'll remove some of the metadata, right? So everything may not be there. So what do you do in such a case? Let me give an example. I hope I have an example where not all the fields have been, no, not here. Okay, so you can see clearly on my right-hand side, I don't have the volume, I don't have the issue, I don't have the pages. So I just go and look for it online and see where the thing is. If it's volume 5, I put it there. If it's volume issue 7, I input myself because the work, it didn't do it for me well. So I just do this by myself, okay? So you don't need to.
So it means that it's advisable you go through all those meta-analysis before you cite the paper?
Yes, you should do that, especially when you're writing paper. Okay, I have a certain journal that they are so picky about references. I don't know whether they eat the references or not. Just miss a volume and the editor will reject the work. Just one volume of one paper. Maybe you have 500 papers. He will find it. I don't know how. But especially with some journal, if it's a thesis, maybe you can. Okay, if you have my supervisor, then he will find out. So it depends on who is checking. It depends on who is checking because I had to print my master's thesis 3 times just because of this issue. Because of this issue. So you think you have formatted a thing, but then maybe one particular paper, and it happens with the books. You see books, and you see things like conference papers always have this problem. So you have to do it by yourself.
The magazines, newspapers.
Yeah. These things always have problems. You always have problems. So, so let's watch where we also download our paper from, okay? Because we download it from anywhere because maybe that was the only place that was available. Surely some of the metadata will be lost. So you have to check at least the basic one. Something like language, it's not really important. Something like short title, not really important. Something like location archive, not really important. But the major ones must be there, and you must check one by one.
Okay.
You get the nature. Yes. So I'll end here on Zotero. If no questions, then we'll move on to Mendeley. Okay. Now for Mendeley, there are 2 types. Okay, so for Mendeley, there's an old version which has an advantage that I still like. So I like old school. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay, so if you can see my desktop, I have Mendeley desktop, I have Mendeley reference manager, and there's the last one. Where is it? It's not here. No, it's Mendeley desktop and Mendeley reference manager, these 2. Okay, so the Mendeley desktop is the old version. Even if I open it, you'll see that it looks like Windows 98. Okay, that's so bad, but you can see even the way it's opening. It looks nice though. Yeah, so look at this. And the reason why I like it is it's the only version of Mendeley that gives me the option to do what we call abbreviations. Okay, so in my field, we don't give the full name of the journal, we give abbreviations. So because I'm a Mendeley fan, I still use this. But let's go to modern times. Okay, modern times is this guy. Yeah, the big guy. Okay, so you can see the difference is a bit GUI friendly, right? Okay, so here the same thing, you can add references, you can import the file, You can import the folder. So like I said, better you save all your work into one folder. You can also import a library. You see, you can transfer, Dr. Paul. Do you see?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, so import a library. So you can import an EndNote in here. You can import a BibTeX from Zotero and a RIS also from Zotero, and it will perfectly work. Okay, so just for doubt's sake, let me import my RIS, the one I just downloaded from here. Okay, so that was the 4819 one, yes. Open. Oh, and it's, yes, so it's here. 20 references, if you could remember when I did the count. And this is the,
Exactly.
yeah, this is all references, but let me look for saved references, and it's the newest ones on top, right? If I want, I can create a new collection, create collection, right? And the create collection, you can say saved references or save records as it was named. And don't press enter on your keyboard, else it will go away. So you press enter and then you save it. And then now you can now add the references again if you want. So the same thing, I'm just transferring again. Okay, and then you are done. So that's one way. If you have the work from Web of Science, you can upload the work. And if there are duplicates, it will tell you just in case you downloaded the work 2 times. Okay, so far there are no duplicates. Okay. Yeah, so my save records, I have I have to refresh. Maybe. Okay, maybe it's taking a while to load. But yeah, you can add references by file or folder. You can import the library and all that. Okay. Another way you can also import the file is you go to mendeley.com. Let's say that's where you actually did the work from. You downloaded or you got the paper from mendeley.com, not Web of Science. Okay, so we found healthcare sector. All right. Maybe take a while to load. Okay, it's here. So healthcare sector, I've not signed in, so you can see, oh, it has signed me in, sorry. So healthcare sector. Healthcare sector, and now I'm racing against time again. Healthcare sector, right, research. So here, I can add to library. If I don't want to download the paper, I can add to library. And what library is it talking about? It's talking about my Mendeley library here. Okay, so let's try to remember the name of these guys, Stuba. So add to library. Okay, so it says viewing library. So let's go to the library and see if we can find Stuba. So Stuba is here, the first guy. Can you all see Stuba? Stuba Felicitas. Yes. So I've not read the paper, but I have this and I can cite it in my work. It already has some of the things. It doesn't have month, day, city, editor, issue. It has issue, but yeah. So if I go back to I've already done this, but let me do it again. I've deleted everything. Let me go to my references and refresh my references and see if I'll find Mr. Stuba. Or Mrs. Stuba. I don't know if it's a he or a she. Okay, so Mr. Stuba is number 1. You see Mr. Stuba here. Stuba F. Yes. So you can, without even downloading the paper, you just use Mendeley. And this is one way also you can get your papers, Mendeley, and then you add to library, add to library, add to library, add to library. Yes. That's all I want to say about Mendeley. There's nothing more to talk about Mendeley. It's almost the same as Zotero. You can just figure your way around it. Okay. If no questions, I move on to EndNote. EndNote is not paid, so maybe a lot of people on this call don't have it. But before I asked and someone said they have, so I'll teach EndNote. If not, any question? Okay, just to wait, stop. Okay, any question? 20 seconds and I'll move on to EndNotes. No question, good. How about? Then we go to EndNotes. Of course, there are more reference managers. I don't know why you want to use other ones aside these three, but there are more. There's RefWorks and other ones. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen again, and then we go to EndNotes. So EndNotes is here on mine. If you've downloaded it, they all have similar functions, right? But it looks like Zotero and yeah, it started giving the error. Zotero and Mendeley are good to go. Okay, good to go. Unless for some special reason you need to use. So far, same. If you have a library, you can open it. If you are importing, you can import a file. Because I have errors, so it's conflicting with my Mendeley. So let me see if I put off my Mendeley, it will have mercy on me. Okay, let me try Note again. If you have EndNote, it's okay. There's no need to download other ones. Unless you are collaborating. I have collaborators using always different things than what I'm using. So I have to have all the three somehow. And if you know how to convert, then it will be easy for you. Okay. Enough. I know you don't. Okay, so it's not allowing me, but if you can use import the file folder, the same thing. You can edit this referencing, how to do that. Okay, so it even gives you Web of Science directly, and you can even log into Web of Science using your EndNote account. So everything is synced from there. It's a bias. Why are they biased to EndNote? Okay, let me see. Yes, you can log in if you can see. Sign in to continue with EndNote. So EndNote, you can register online. If you have the institutional access, you can do it. Then you sign it into your Web of Science using EndNotes. So whatever you save, just like Mendeley has its own way of adding to the library, you can also add to the library using EndNote. That's all I want to say about EndNote. If not, any questions? Any specific questions concerning these three? EndNotes. Else, literature review is done. Literature review or literature search is done. Then now we have to talk about literature review. Questions. If I'm moving too fast, you can let me know. If I'm moving too slow also, you can tell me. Questions. Today the class is quiet. Anyway, maybe there is a good reason for it. I'm just hoping there is. Okay, so we have how to use the reference managers. If it was too fast, you can slow down the video when you watch it again, or you can find other YouTube videos if that helps, because we cannot do everything here, but just the basics. I thought, yeah. Okay, so our structure of a proposal, we go back to it. And in this case, what we want to do is to continue our review, right? And a moment. Let me pull up the last document I want to talk about today, which is how do we write a literature review? We've done this before, but I don't want to just hashing over again. Okay, so if you can see my screen, let me know. Can you see my Word document talking about literature review discussion? Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, so sure. You have, come again?
Yeah, sure, we can see.
All right, thank you very much for the confirmation. So we have so many papers, right? But we don't know how to discuss the papers before we even insert the citations, right? So one way, or I found again, I compiled a list for you just in case you don't know what to do. Okay, so let's say I have 10 references for the Chinese man. We are coming to do practical session. 10 references for Chinese man. So reference 1, how do I want to talk about it? Okay, so you can use the thematic cluster. Okay, this one, I'm just using 10 references. It's off the bat, so please forgive me if there are errors, okay? And it's fictional, but of course, it should work. I'm using the thematic cluster. What do I mean? I'm just grouping them according to my themes or my groups, right? So 2.1, the theme was physical characteristics. And at any point, if you feel I'm moving too fast, you can let me know. 2.2 is culture. 2.3 is which one? You guys can help me.
Religious affiliation.
Come again. I didn't hear the faint voice. Oh, just give me, we are classifying the Chinese man. If you don't want classify a Chinese man, then give us a topic. And then we use it for the literary review. If you don't like my topic, bring yours. It's as simple as that. This one is no fight.
Maybe educational background or educational level.
Educational level. Educational level. Hey, these people, they are always acing the SAT. Anyway, 2.4. Okay, 2.4.
Religious affiliation.
Religious. Please, I beg you. Let's not go there. No politics, no religion, I beg. I'm still in China, though. Catch me. Okay, let's move on. Last one. Let's say this is our novelty. We want to describe a Chinese man in a certain novel way that, of course, when we look at Black Chinese, it's a very racial topic, but I'll say it. Black Chinese, there are Black Chinese, so it's not racist. It's just describing the skin of their color. Anyway, if you think otherwise, that's your own problem. So physical characteristics. So the many Chinese are short, simple. If you don't like it, it's your problem. According to Bruce et al. Bruce et al. They are short. Many. The word many can be 10%. So many is 10%. 2024. However, we are using thematic, right? So it says that we should group it into themes and subtopics. So, however, Asante et al. Okay, it's just a name. Asante et al. If you're on the call, you're called Asante, please. It's just a coincidence. Asante et al. 2019 emphasizes that Chinese from the South are relatively shorter compared to the folks from the North. Physical characteristics, we've used height, for example, but when you're not done, you want to use things like the beauty, hey, this is a touchy topic, the beauty of a Chinese is in the pocket. According to the groundbreaking research. Please, I'm not copying from anywhere. It's coming from my mind. So as researchers, we should also be able to do this. This is a very non-practical, but it should apply to your work. If you are good in your area, you've read some papers, it should flow and it should come naturally. According to the groundbreaking research by Cho, I don't know why I'm using Cho today. Cho et al. 2023. So if you don't believe that the beauty is from the pocket, then go and ask Professor Cho. Okay, so I've talked about height, I've talked about beauty. What else can I talk about? Physical, right? Physical. Can anyone give me something, a subtopic under physical? I'm waiting. Subtopic. Oh, okay. Bruce et al. Use my own since I'm talking to myself now. Bruce et al. 1998 hypothesized that the physical characteristics of any race are in 4 markers, right? So this one has no relation with the Chinese man, but it has something to do with physical characteristics like weight, skin color. That one I'll talk about it later. Physical characteristics, weight, height. Which one again do we have? Let me go to the hospital. What did they ask for? Okay. Since I only remember 2, I'll write only 2. So this is a general, like a theoretical framework, theoretical foundation, right? So weight and what? And height. Okay, so what I'll do here is, because I've mentioned weight, height, and beauty, I'll use those ones before. Yes. So this is me editing on the go. So this guy came first. Bruce et al. Hypothesized that the physical characteristics of any, so it's like a general statement. And then you have many Chinese are short, however, blah, 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 blah. So this is like my theoretical foundation, right? I talk about culture the same way. So let's talk about culture. The studies of culture spans across many generations. In the early 20th century, this classification was done into music, food, and dressing. Into music, food, and dressing. Who did that particular? KK et al. Early 20th centuries, 1998, which one is early? 1960. Okay, full stop. And of course, I've cited my references from my Mendeley or my Zotero. The culture of Chinese is diverse as it has evolved over 5,000 years. This study, supported by Li et al. 2005, suggests that there are 400 types of Chinese music. 200 dishes and 1,000 clothing styles. Okay, educational. Many Chinese have been educated in old imperial education system. Is there a question?
No.
Okay. The difference in modernization of a technology based education was spearheaded in 2010, according to the survey by Zhang et al. 2015. The reform of education has made many Chinese numerically literate. However, so now I'm starting my novelty. However, there are few studies describing the actual correlation of the, in quotes, yellow skin color. No, let me not go there. Correlation of the race to level of intelligence. Abdullah et al. 2023. Abdullah, sorry, that's not it. Abdullah et al. Stated that the hue of the skin in the Asian context ranges from yellow to black. Another study by Tang et al. 2024 opposes this classification system, saying that the hue differentiation is from yellow to white. There is an unclear distinguishing scale for such classifications of skin color in the Chinese context. This study, that is your study, this study seeks to, so what do you want to do? You tell us. Seeks to develop a facial recognition system that can classify black-skinned Chinese effectively to enhance equity in the social system of China. Full stop. This is from background to novelty. Something like this. Using thematic. This is just one. There are over 100 again. I will give them all to you. At your free time, you can choose any of them and use. Okay, you can go from chronological. Okay, so if you have that, you can compare. Whilst this one says this, the key contribution of this, case study, present gaps and extension, depends on how you want to write it. Of course, you can mix them. You don't need to, as I was writing, I'm sure I've mixed more than one or two of them because I did it chronologically, if you can see for some of them. All right, so literature review is done. Always make sure you tell us about your theoretical framework first, and then move down onto your novelty. And always you must see things like this at the end of the day. There's something not done, or it's limited, or there's some confusion, and you hope to clarify that. Questions?
Yeah, if I may, there's in case there's a paper I am reading and it started with an opening that currently, so it means that as at 2010, that paper said currently.
Yes.
And now I'm doing a paper in 2024 and I cite that paper. Can I still go by using that issue is still current?
How current is current? This question.
So as at 2010, that was when that paper was published.
Yes,
and I'm sure maybe as at then, that paper was current, or that issue they were tackling was current. But I cite this, I see something similar in their lines, and I want to at least add a few lines to my, do I still, and again, I'm going to be citing that 2010 paper.
Yes.
Is it right for me to still say that the issue is current if I'm citing that particular paper in 2010?
Okay, so one way you cannot really know how current is current. This question is one headache I always face. But one way you can know is quickly check the citations, okay, on that particular paper, and it can give you a fair idea of how current the issue is. If you are not so sure, you can use connected papers. Do you remember we talked about connected papers? Try connected papers. It will give you how current the currency is. Okay. And then you can just look up the ATA because in 2010 it was current. Maybe he has written 2012, a newer version of that same kind of paper. So you can check the ATA, especially the first or corresponding ATA. You can check connected papers, and of course you can also check the citations, and then you will know how current it is. Currency can also come from the perspective that people have moved away from the area. So maybe it had 40 citations and that was done. It's still current in terms of that area because nobody else has written anything about it because that chapter has been closed. Perhaps he was a final say. Who has the final say? He was a final say. So once he said that, everybody said, okay, we believe you because you have reputation in this field. So nobody talks about that issue again, and it's not current until you have gone to revive it again from another perspective, and people be like, oh, okay, we didn't look at it from this perspective. So it could vary depending on the situation. Okay, so I'm being notified that I've talked so much. Yes, I know, 2 hours, 5 minutes, and then we can close the chapter on literature review introduction. I've not spoken about methodology today. We'll do that on Saturday, and hopefully we'll end on Saturday. So any questions so far? Just 2 minutes. Questions? Sometimes it's not fair. I speak for 2 hours and I don't get any feedback. Yeah. Anyway, questions? No questions. Questions. If there are no questions, then it means the topic was not relevant. That's my conclusion. Because if it's new, then we all have questions. Or we all know how to do it well. That's why we don't have questions. Let me try and go through the chat box and see if I can find a question. Even there's no question. I wanted to add the Web of Science. It's linked to EndNote because EndNote. Okay, so if you want to add the EndNote to the Web of Science, first of all, you need to go to the EndNote website and then create a login, like username, password. And then you try and log in from there. You can even log in your EndNote. Hopefully that answers the question. How to show the map? I think I've done that. Citations, not novel. What's happening? Do not understand.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, you were showing us something about the researcher assistant, right?
Yes.
In Web of Science.
Mm.
Apparently, we tried doing it here on our side, but we didn't see that. I don't know if you have any idea of the reason why it's not showing on our Web of Science page.
Can you first of all access the Web of Science? Not the research assistant, just the interface of Web of Science.
Yes.
Oh, I did wrong marketing. Maybe it's on a paid version, but I'm not on a paid version and I didn't log in. So I think did anyone else try it? Okay, let me try it on my incognito mode and see. Did anyone try it? Did it work for you? Didn't work for you? If not, maybe I'll have to use the back end to find out. Okay, let me try again. Anyone? Nobody? Oh, so I was doing it alone. Okay. Did anyone try the Web of Science? Okay, even from my incognito mode, I still get it. Oh, wait. Dr. K, did you try? Dr. K is not with.
I have tried it before with the, if anything, Web of Science, but I don't have access now, so I couldn't try that one.
Oh. Okay, anyone who does not have access to Web of Science, please try and let's see if it's a general problem or I don't really know what.
I think Roberto tried and he couldn't find it. Simon also has tried and it failed.
Ooh. That's okay. Let's see. I'm trying it on another browser. Would anyone be kind to share their screen so we do it together? Because I can't use mine. Because for me, I am able to log in. So let me give the opportunity to anyone who will want to share your screen and then we see where the problem is, perhaps.
For Web of Science?
Yes. Even if somebody does not have, you don't have, let's try and create an account for you here. You can hide your screen.
My brother, sorry.
I tried, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, so I'm changing my browser.
Okay. Okay, we should finish by 9:15 so people can have a good rest. You don't have access, you don't have an affiliation to a university, you can try Web of Science. And then we see. Mr. Simon or Roberto, would you want to share your screen if possible? See where the problem is, if it's convenient. I can give you access to share your screen.
I wanted to share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, try and see.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
It's still loading. Okay.
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 Oh, well.
Wait, it's not even showing at the
So
top. Okay, so I see what the problem is. It's not even showing.
it's
Can you try and register?
register. I'm logged in as using my
University.
university's account. Yeah.
Wow, then it should show.
Maybe you can lead me with the steps and see if it
Okay,
will
let's
work this
just
time.
try this one and see. And then you search. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Got that. That's fine. Maybe this one.
Yeah. So we search.
Okay.
It's not there. It's not there. Okay, I'll
maybe
get
I
back.
need to sign in.
Okay, let's do this. Go to sign in. Yes, let's try signing in and let's see. End session. So even people with school access have a problem. Okay, let's go to the login page and try. Okay, so
I'm signing in.
Okay, this way of signing in usually has a problem. Are you using Bing or how do you call it?
I'm using Microsoft
Bing.
Edge.
Edge.
Yes.
Okay, so usually if you use this option to sign in, it has a problem. Even I have encountered it. So you have to log in through the Federation account, which is the China Federation account, before you access China or the university. Okay, let's see.
Like this one, at this step, I'm logged in using my personal
Yes,
account.
this one is your personal account.
Yeah.
And it still does not show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's either my university.
It should be right here.
It should be at the top, just
It should be here, right?
by search.
Here.
At the
Near
top,
the
yes,
search.
something like
there.
that.
Yeah,
Okay, give me a 10 over of from now to Saturday. Let me see. I'll find out what the actual situation. Okay.
Fred.
I should stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Fred.
Yes.
For the chart, for the diagram, I think, would you want an alternate application for that?
Oh, people on the call, I'm sure they know. We have other ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can share. You can share what you have also. We are happy to.
No, it's called Voice Viewer. I saw it does something like that.
Yes, Voice
So,
Viewer does that, but
yeah.
I have not really thought about it into details. So maybe we can look at it in a future session.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a whole
People
topic.
normally pair it up with publish or perish, where they will download .irs file or the CSV or whatever the file is, and then they export it to the Voice Viewer for viewing and all that.
So usually, even from Web of Science, you can still do that. Once you download, you can use the Voice Viewer. But I think now they've just embedded everything into the Web of Science, and unfortunately,
Yeah, exactly.
we cannot see it here. What could be the problem? Okay. I'll find out why I have access. And because even for me, I haven't signed in yet. Or maybe it's a promotion that they gave me. Anyway, I'll find out why. Then on Saturday, we may discuss other options if it's tailored only to me. Okay. Thank you for bringing it to my notice. I was completely blind on this one. All right. Any other question? It's 9:15. One more minute and then we can close. No questions? Oh, so it means we have to go back to typeset.
Yeah, there's
Unfortunately,
an
so
account you promised.
yeah.
Website.
Okay. I won't promise, but I'll find you another way. No problem. Yeah, just to keep everything in one place. It's better than moving here and there. Because even for typeset, you need VPN. Okay, any question? If no question, then we can end today's session. Thank you all for coming once again. We'll share the documents and the video as usual in the group.
And the account.
Come again?
You said you'll share the typeset account.
My typeset account?
Yes.
Oh. No,
There's
you
a
can't
gift
see.
you said you.
No, my gift
you
was
about.
research assistant, not typeset. Typeset is no, I can't share my account, but I can link you to where you can buy some. Or you can have a shared account with a friend or something. Yeah, I think that will be more affordable.
Right.
Yes.
So I tried I tried logging into the webofknowledge.com. It's giving me a sign in and then a register page.
So you register if you don't have, you can use normal Gmail to register.
I tried the institutional email and then it's not allowing me to search for papers, but I can only search for authors.
Then it means your institution does not have access. Okay, can you share your screen? Maybe we sort out this issue. Maybe I should stop recording.